such a nice stream might be over before it's even started. It's just a rather impromptu one, to be honest. A wee bit of time. I thought I'd do a wee quick bit of building, but can't get my computer to stay on, and the instructions for this set are digital, so I need my computer to get access to the instructions. So obviously without instructions I can't really do a huge amount of building. So I'm going to try again here, see if we can get it up and running. And hopefully we will do it. Oh God. Does this, it'll eventually play ball, but it does take, it just plays up for a little while sometimes, and I don't know what it's doing, it's just constantly restarting. But if we just get it to stay up long enough to get the instructions up, then that'll be great. Right, let's see how we get on here. Typically it always reverts back to the title page every time you load it. So I'll have to go hunting again here for the page that I was on. Good bit of good build, to be honest. I think probably about a third of the way through, or thereabout. So we're on to bag 10, or the numbered bag 10s. There's well over 50 bags in total. So bag 10 doesn't mean that I'm only a fifth of the way through. I think the numbers themselves only go up to 23, so I'd say we're about probably just over a third of the way through. So right, I think we're up and running here now. The computer seems to be holding on for the time being. So this is the set we're building anyway. For the train station, set number 910002 from the Bricklink Designer Project, from one of the very early stages of the Bricklink Designer Project. With the invitational page. So whenever these sets dropped, they were limited to 5,000 or more per person. So they're relatively exclusive. This is a pretty cool set in that you also get a little train with it. So that's how the train looks anyway. It's fairly basic as far as trains go. However, it's absolutely more than what you generally get with like stations and stuff. So it comes with 2 carriages. So I think I am going to, I've spoken in a previous video about potentially expanding it, and I think I'll make both of these engines a little bit longer, and I might build a coach, or a carriage rather, to extend the train as well. So we'll sort of cross that bridge when we get there. We'll get the station all built up first, and we'll see how we get on. So we're going building this now. I think we're going for a couple of streams. We're going for a few hours. I'd say we're about maybe just over a third of the way through. So we've got one side of the station all built up, as you can probably see in front of me there. So this is the sort of front end of the station that opens onto the pavement. And then we've got the platform on the other side of the tracks started. Sorry, I just need to bring these instructions up again. So we're progressing very nicely. So yeah, we're just starting to work on this other side. There is like a bit of a concourse on the top layer on each side. Got two sort of small platforms. There's not really much of a actual station building. Incidentally, it's quite a big building in its entirety, but there's not much of a sort of ticketing area and things like that. You know, it's kind of just two platforms. This obviously is pavement here. There's a bit up here, but there's no sort of train access from this because it's obviously above the track. And then on this side as well, we do have another platform, but again, it's just I think this platform's enclosed. So we'll see sort of what we kind of build on this side. But it doesn't have that sort of big grand entrance where you walk in and you open out into a big sort of open hallway. And the like, but nonetheless, it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty good build. So just need to grab the instructions again here. This is a bit of a pain. This is another one of the reasons why I massively dislike digital instructions, and it's obviously not their fault that my computer's a bit of a pain, but even still, if they provided physical instructions, then I wouldn't be dealing with this. Royal Gaming says hello Royal Gaming, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. I will get building in a second. I'm just having a few technical issues here. We are working with digital instructions and a device that doesn't want to stay on. Right, okay, so we're nearly there. For future reference, Stephen, we are on page number 294. So if it goes off again, at least I know where to go back to. So yeah, I'm actually going to turn it around this way so you can see the front of it. And I'm building over to this side now, so once I kind of get up a little bit, I'll flip it around, let you have a little bit of a look at where we're up to. But if anyone wants to know anything more about the set, just throw a comment down there and I'll sort of follow up. Like I said, this is a Bricklink Designer project set, so they're a little less common, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't come across them. They weren't available, well, strictly speaking, they weren't available through Lego's website. However, so yeah, they were kind of purchased through Bricklink's website, but it did obviously link to Lego's website then whenever you were completing the purchase, because Lego obviously owned Bricklink, so it was all sort of fairly coherent and one on that regard. But yeah, so these were bought through Bricklink, and obviously there's much less awareness about them. I know a lot of people sort of have never come across them. So if anyone does want any more information, please give me a shout in the comments, and I'll do my best to sort of help you out. But for now, I'm just going to crack on building, and I'll just keep away in the chat and see if there's anything going on. And yeah, I'm just kind of talking through bits and pieces as I'm going. So like I said, we're just working on the platform on the side. The platforms are great. They have these little sections on the end of them that actually tilt up and down. So that's really very much to allow wheelchair access. So from the platform directly on the train, so it's a nice little touch. Our wheelchair based minifigs need looked after too, don't they? Speaking of minifigs, we do have a few more minifigs coming up in this bag, or certainly at least one that I can see here, one or two. So you get quite an assortment of minifigures with it. I'm not sure exactly how many in total. I know we have 4 up to this stage. Looks like we've got another 2 here, so kind of a mix of travellers and buskers and rail employees. And we've got a few rail employees. I think we've got another 1 employee and 1 traveller in this bag, so whenever we get to the stage of putting them together, I'll give you a wee closer look on the camera. So just a wee bit of plate work here going in on the actual station floor itself. I can find the cracked pieces. 1 by 2. There we are. actually intended on streaming tonight. I didn't expect to be back on streaming this until tomorrow evening, but just the way things have worked out, I've got a wee sort of window of opportunity, so I thought I'll just crack on and do a little bit more. I just want to see the build finish, to be honest, as much as anything else, so I'm kind of spurred on by that. Move the minifigure parts out of the way, because I don't need any of that at the minute. I'm missing one piece, but I'll come across it, I'm sure, and I'll throw it in whenever I get there. So yes, it's a pretty substantial set. It's actually meant to be built onto 48 by 48 base plate, so you can see it sitting here. I'm actually just tipping my bags onto this and building from here, because I personally don't sort of build on base plates. I build on plates. So I have a third party 32 by 32 base plate. You can't quite see it here, but it's from a company called Strictly Bricks. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 16 by 16 plates as well. So I kind of basically just made a 48 by 48 plate rather than the base plate. That's just how I like doing things. I much prefer using plates. They're a bit more rigid. You get it. And a bit more flexibility in terms of the size of things whenever it comes to sort of the layout section. I don't want to have to cut base plates to, fit bits and pieces in here and there. So I find if I work on plates, I have a wee bit more flexibility. And it's also a bit more sturdy if you're trying to move it around. Something of this scale, that sturdiness, it won't be such a bad thing. Just sort of working on the actual plate work on the platforms. It's not the most exciting, but it'll just sort of smooth the whole sort of surface off and make it look a lot cleaner and tidier. So it's kind of a slow drawn out process, to be honest. It's largely made up of white, light and dark tan plates. Then I've got some of these, I kind of just don't know what their official term is, but they're basically 3 by 4 modified plates with the 4 studs through the middle, so kind of like the little plates that are supplied with the minifigures and the collectible minifigures. So there's quite a few of them the whole way along. It's quite a nice, clean looking sort of finish. It's a nice colour scheme as well. It is super beige. And the set itself, but I don't mind that. Sort of sprinklings of sort of black and white in there, so it's nice. I seem to be building an awful lot of railway stations at the moment. Well, I'll say a lot. This is the second one, but sort of relative to everything else. I've been sitting on this for so long. I think this came out in 2023. I've been sitting on it since then. So you can see up there, this brick cross station that I built previously. And it's in a very similar colour style. There's a lot of glass, a lot of black, and a lot of tan, but they're very different stations. That particular one, the platform is to the rear, so there's a proper sort of full station building and like a little cafe and shop. And the actual platform and track runs along the rear. Whereas with this particular building, the tracks run through the middle of the station, platforms either side, so very, very different in terms of design. I actually do plan on modifying this one ever so slightly. So at the minute it is a station where the tracks run straight through, 2 tracks, you know, obviously one for each direction of transport. But I am going to close off one end of it. Don't quite know which way I'm going to do it yet. I'm going to turn it into a terminus station. Sort of my intention is that this will sit within the sort of large city section or portion of my layout, which is currently accessible. Well, my intention is to have a loop that runs all the way around. And this will be on a table that sits in the middle of that entire loop, and the railway tracks will sort of Y off and connect into the middle here, and I had only intended it being access from one side. So I'll be back in 1 second. Can you just stop it, please? No, all I can hear is noise. I'm fine. Yes.
I was gonna buy a laptop and Lucy said she'd be 2 minutes. I gave her it like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, what's she doing?
She was sitting on her phone and then I went in a couple of minutes ago and said,
I asked you what is she doing?
and now she's doing homework, but I've been
And
wanting
is
to
she
do.
using the laptop?
Yes, but
Well, you're just going to let her do her homework.
I've been wanting to do. I let her go. She said she was.
No, let me just stop this here. I can't be bothered. This is a waste of my time.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't actually care.
Look, just try and not fight there. Apologies, I'm back. Bickering children. Fighting over a computer. So anyway, as I was saying, my intention is to close this off at one side. Initially, anyway, I don't know, we'll see. Like, there's no reason why I can't, have a bridge or something accessing the central table from either side. And the railway could just run completely through. So that is an option I have, but I had kind of envisaged closing this off at one side and sort of having it as a terminus station instead. But I will I kind of see when we get sort of further down the line, get to a point of actually sort of building up the layout and city a little bit more. I'm not going to sort of jump ahead and say this, that, or the other, because at this point there's not a lot happening. And apparently I'm missing loads of pieces here. 2 6s. That was all. That was kind of my vision. One of the main reasons behind sort of closing off at one side was just to ensure I maintain sort of decent access to all sections of the layout. It's very easy to kind of close yourself in and not be able to sort of properly or easily access certain sections. If you need to sort of tweak something or add buildings in or whatever. So it was really, really hinging around accessibility. But I suppose whenever you actually get to the point of sort of getting the layout up and running and sort of getting in and getting working in the room, I'll have a much better scope of kind of how it's going to work. There's a few more pillars going on this side, not quite so many. Looks like we've just got 2 on either side. And again, I think we have sort of access to sort of the whatever this section of the layout is going to be behind the station. There's like pedestrian access, so I'm going to put another one of these little traffic lights. There's one at the other, on the other end down here, and I think the placement of it's pretty ludicrous. But then, one of the things you will find sometimes with these Bricklink designer sets is that they don't necessarily always marry up perfectly with Lego's design briefs. I suppose there sometimes some of the part usages can be a bit interesting. And oh, hold on, no, yeah. Sometimes the part usage can be a bit funny. Some of the build, some of the sections are not necessarily the most well constructed. They can be a bit sort of loose and flimsy, for want of a better word. But the sort of flip side of that is you get some really interesting designs that you probably wouldn't get otherwise. And so we've finished tidying up the platform, and now we're just building up a little bit here. Don't know what these are going to be, but it'll all make a bit more sense whenever we get further into the build. It might just be sort of like structural or design. A lot of kind of slopes and inverted slopes here. I'm working on it. Still not quite correctly. I don't plan to stream for too long tonight. I'm thinking I'll maybe stay on for an hour. So we'll see what we can get built sort of in that period. I'd love to get a good chunk of it through the actual. Yeah, I'd love to get a good chunk of the way through the actual build. Except I'd really like to get it finished tomorrow evening. On my Friday night stream, but I suspect I won't get too much done. So progress is quite slow using these stupid instructions. Definitely don't work as quickly from the digital instructions as I do from physical ones. Just find it a little bit harder to sometimes to make out what exactly is going on. Okay, so there isn't actually access to the platform from the rear on this side. We're actually building the wall up here, and I think there's quite a few windows in that will go in sort of the whole way along here. It's just a wee, so there's some sections on the back here which I thought were maybe going to be like steps up in, but it's just a little area for just a wee bit of architectural design, I suppose. Again, like I said, a lot of slopes and things like that. And obviously we also have these in the nice colours and using these, it's the sort of 2x2 round bricks, but it's the sort of ridged ones. So you get like a nice kind of column look about them. I'm just jumping ahead a wee bit here and just presuming that these go on the end. The two sides seem to mirror one another. And another two sides. Matthew Price. So Matthew Price, that's what we're building. So this is a Bricklink Designer Program station. Studgate station is called 91002. I'll grab the box for you in 1 second, Matthew, if you, I'll let you have a wee look at it. Just want to finish these pillars here. Harlover also asking the same. Harlover's a station from the Bricklink designer program from 23. Let me just grab the box. It's a big one. There we go. So that's the set we're building there. Yeah, Studgate Station 91002 from 23, I believe. So that's the front. And then on the rear, you can just see a nice sort of profile through the centre of the station. Give you a wee bit of an idea of how that looks. So it's very cool. This cost, if my memory serves me correct, it was 299 UK pounds. I think it was maybe $400 and maybe like 250, 260 euros, something like that. So it's absolutely not a cheap set, but so just over 4,000 pieces, so it's quite a high piece count. And a lot of those pieces are big. You know, you're getting a lot of sort of plate and panels and sort of window pieces and stuff like that. You know, so it's relatively speaking decent value for money. I know it's a lot of money, but I think for what you get, and it's substantial. It's on a 48 by 40 base plate, so like footprint wise, it's huge. You're attending art college. Oh, that's cool. What's your career path of choice? What do you kind of want to be an artist, or like get into design, or sort of what do you want to do? My job, YouTube's not a job by the way. YouTube I just do for a bit of crack on the side. I used to be a business analyst for a big outsourcing company, but I now own a coffee shop, and I just work full time in that coffee shop as a barista, and well, sort of all the other jobs that I've had to take on as a result of owning it. So yeah, that keeps me occupied, and then I just build a lot of Lego in my spare time. Build a lot of Lego, play a lot of Xbox. That's kind of a jam. With the price of Lego these days, if you want to be able to afford it, then you gotta work hard. That goes without saying. Oh, that's cool. Glass blowing's awesome. I like that. And how long is your course? Have I any ideas what to make? Glass blowing wise, gosh, I don't know. What about like I don't know, I'm like one of the least arty people, to be honest. Not a great person to ask. Right, I'm just trying to work out this little section of the build here. So a lot of black plate, and there are a few different sizes, and I can't quite work out which ones are going where. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's this one. Yeah, I don't know, fishbowl? Sorry, that's not very inspiring, is it? No, I'm not a very arty person. I did art like back in high school, and I got a C in it. I got enough to kind of get me through it, but it really wasn't for me. I'm not a particularly artistic person. Being interested in imagination. As much, well, building Legos probably as arty as I get. And like, is glass blowing the only thing that you do, or is that kind of this year's sort of focus, or what else? Like, is there any other sort of modules or any other things that you'll do beyond glass blowing, or I've lost 2 bits. Making this little bin here, and didn't do a very good job of popping it in. There we Oh, very good. Okay, so there's lots of different things there. So hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy and you're particularly good at. Okay, so we're just building. I'm not sure what this is that we're putting in at the minute. I'll have to move that tree. It's going to be a bit hard to access the sort of internal of the set here. I don't know what that is. I guess that makes sense whenever we build it. Some really interesting part usage in these sets. Like I said, it kind of breaks a wee bit from the Lego norm, I suppose. Alright. Okay, it's more size. So I'm not actually. So these 1x8 tiles, they're meant to have one of these gate stickers on here, which is the name of the station. I will probably put them on eventually, but for the time being I'm not. But I'll crap, not that easy to get on here. I'll pop the tile into place for now, and yeah, like I said, I can kind of come back to that at another point if I decide I want to put the stickers on. Just nothing against the stickers, but just I might make a few tweaks or adjustments to this set, sort of further down the line until it's kind of in its final form or the way I want it. I don't really want to put the stickers on just in case I move stuff about or it doesn't make sense or something. So yeah, it was ill last summer. I caught a glass infection, 2 chest infection. It's like, that flabby bit in your throat. Well, and I got badly infected. Oh man, that's pretty tough. And that was last summer, so that probably ruined a lot of your summer for you, I imagine. I'm sorry to hear that. But you're better now. You're mended. Infection cleared. Back to fighting fit again. Okay, and then just another wee bench over here. I like the way the benches are built. They're very simple. They just kind of use the 1x4 bricks with like the little track running through it. Not sure exactly what you call it. It just adds a bit of additional sort of texture and design to an otherwise very simple build. Right, with some more lights. So these lights are good as well. They actually use so they're kind of built upside down, and they have microphones kind of as the sort of section of the light that holds the shade bulb. And it's a really nice little design choice. It's very unique. And then they just use the hooks then to, oh here I've done something wrong. Done the wrong way around. There we go, easy fix. Yeah, there's little hooks then built into the wall that these sort of bars with a clip can hook onto, and it just creates a nice little, the sort of head of the microphone creates a nice little design feature at the top of the light then. It's just a wee bit different, it's neat. I keep doing it the wrong way around. Yeah, just one more light to build. That goes on there. Okay, so our minifigures should be able to see on the platform now. And here we have our 2 minifigures. So like I said, it looks like we've got one dude with a pretty epic fluffy collar on here. I'll show you him in a second. Who's parading about here with 2 pieces of luggage. And then we've got this lady. So the lady looks like, I don't know if she's a railway worker or yeah, I don't know if she's a railway worker or she's maybe like works somewhere else and she's just gets in the train to her place of work. But I'll show you these in a wee second. There's nothing unique about any of these figures. They're all just generic. So you don't kind of miss out on any sort of awesome unique figures in these sets if you don't have them. So this dude has a beanie on and it just uses that kind of bird's nest element then to create like a big funky collar. He's a pretty dapper dude. I'll bring him over now and let you have a look. Build it out of Lego. 3 shells. Oh, that's cool. What's your kind of favourite themes or sets to build? Where is she? If you're going to go into the room and open a door, close it again afterwards. Close the door behind you. You don't need to be told to close the door. You close doors. Like you heard her sitting asking you to do it. Fucking hell, these are too annoying little kids. I'll use my children again. Cloggers again. Charlie loves hose. Alright, Charlie. You do your thing, man. But yeah, three plus shells Legos. Do you have any sets in particular that you enjoy building, or have you any favourites? Right, so here we have the minifigures. Like I said, there's nothing unique about them. It's just a little generic sort of city worker top, with the wee shirt and the waistcoat. She has 2 faces. She's got this kind of closed eye one, and then this big smile, and then this cool sort of shortish chopped black hair, and a little backpack as well. And then we've got this chap here then. Like I say, he's quite hard to see because he's so dark, but he's wearing a little green jacket with a little sort of soundbar t-shirt underneath. He's got a beanie. He's only got one face with the shades. He's got this bird's nest piece then as a big funky collar, and then a couple of suitcases, brown trousers. So a couple more minifigures then to place in. I'll just stick them both down onto the shelf. So I actually suspect that this lady isn't a real worker. She's heading off somewhere else. So they're just standing on the platform waiting for the train. And apologies for the text that was being put up there previously, so I just had to get up and say what's that chat. Make sure it's right. Well, that's we know it's time not to. It's about silly junk. Turning off this section here then. Yeah, so there's not a huge amount of building beyond the actual platforms and actual railway track itself. It is quite thin, but then like I said, this all builds up and there's a big section on top where people can hang out and stuff like that. So I think sort of when the whole structure is finished, it'll look a lot more impressive. And I think of that bag. Just a few leftover pieces there, but they're all just little sort of generic pieces that would generally be leftover. Get it off. There we go. We lost one, but I'm not overly bothered about it. So yeah, a couple of extra pieces there, and then we move on to bag number 11. So bag number 11 is 2 bags, all black pieces. There's a lot of bars and stuff here. So that's the fact that we're going to be building the bridge that goes across from one side of the station to the other. I don't know if I'll be able to keep this. Don't know if I'll be able to keep this bridge kind of in the set in the format that it's built here, because I just don't know how high it is relative to some of the other trains and stuff I have in my collection. So I'm building everything as is for now. I like to build a set after instructions, and I'll work it out as time goes by. If we have to sort of tweak it and move things about, then that's okay. That's absolutely something that we can do. So yes, as I was saying, there's a bridge then that comes across from this side of the platform to this side to give minifigures access to the platform over here. There's a little walkway down the front, as you can maybe see here, that's tied off. And I think that's more sort of for wheelchair users, because obviously they'll not be able to get up and over the bridge. So it's a little slope that takes you over this way, but I don't know how comfortable I would feel about walking across a railway track in a big building station, or being pushed across it rather. I hate hers and your Lego set, and they get in so easy, and they're generally so hard to remove for some reason. Stairs go in here then. That's the first set of stairs. Goes like that. And then there's a couple of supports here then that they attach onto. Just get them down, there we go. So we have the stairs in place then. We've got the stairs on the other side as well, and then we just need to presumably make the actual bridge then that goes out over. This isn't quite right. I missed something in these instructions. Have I? Have, yeah. It's finished hard. There's lots of wee sort of 1 by 1 plates that are put in just to sort of lift these pillars up. Just sort of one plate there at a time, and I always miss in the instructions. There's so much black in it. It's quite hard to make some of the bits and pieces out, to be honest. this going? They're in the wrong place. Yeah, so kind of just mirroring the design on the other side, which makes sense. So we've just got these little telescope pieces that go in place, and then a wee plate on top just to make the handrail in, so people don't fall out over the edge. And I suspect now we'll be getting started onto the actual sort of bridge section. So it's all very, well, I say it's all very straightforward. It seems quite straightforward. It's just using the molded bridge element, or the molded stairs element, and yeah, the molded stairs element, and then just lots of sort of curved pieces and bricks just to sort of create a more cohesive and interesting looking staircase. So yeah, it's a fairly straightforward build, and then same thing on the other side. And I suspect it'll be the same on the complete other side, but I'm just going to go as per the instructions for now. These instructions aren't very good at telling me like times 2 and stuff like that of things, you know, when you have sort of instances of sort of repeat builds. It doesn't really do a great job of highlighting stuff like that, so you generally find you build something and then before you know it you're building it all over again. Right, where does this go? Does that go on there? Yes, it does. Well, can't quite get that attached. There's that look. Perfecto. Okay, so that's that side up. And then we're doing the same over here. Bring all the various pieces that I think we're going to need, but I suspect it will be the exact same. Goes that way. Cool. And that goes on to this side. Have I done something wrong here? What have I done wrong? No, that's in the wrong place, that's what it is. Right. There we go. Straightforward, simple fix. Okay, and then we just need this little section here that sort of joins across. So these big black 2 by 20 plates. It's quite an expanse that it's having to cover there. Or 2 by 18 rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 by 16. Okay. There we go. So yeah, it's covering like a 16 stud gap here, so it's it is quite a broad bridge actually. And then I'll pop our train in just so you can see what it's like for clearance. You can see at the minute anyway, the train passes through that very comfortably. Now this sort of arch on the side here, if it actually came any further across, it would probably be catching the roof of this train. So wider trains might struggle a little bit there, so we'll have to test that with a few other trains, the likes of the likes of the Emerald Knight might struggle a little bit more because they're a lot wider. So we'll have to test that and see. We might have to just make a little sort of adjustment to the sort of scale of the bridge. But that's the job for future Stephen. For now, I'm building after instruction, and I'll tweak whatever I have to as and when. Okay, we've got here 1, 2, 3. And, I think it's maybe just a railing or something that we're building here. We've got a lot of little clips. Funny angles. Where's that go? On the end of that. They are quite sort of steep stairs actually for the figs to get up. I love these big pyramid pieces like they're good. I don't know if I'm putting these clips in correct. It's quite hard to sort of make out exactly how they're meant to be, but I suppose as we progress through the build, I'll understand better how they're meant to be, set up. It does really thin out this sort of section of the bridge. The actual steps here are only 2 studs wide, so the figures will have to sort of shuffle up sideways, I would expect. Do 2 more of these up this side as well. Once again, if it told me to build 4 of them, I could have just done them all together, but it doesn't do a great job of kind of pointing that they're repeating sort of builds in this. One on there. I think these are for the handrails, I would imagine. Like I said, it doesn't really give the minifigures a whole lot of sort of room to climb up the stairs, but leave this in the green side. Okay, so this is quite neat the way we've done this. So we've got just using the little clips, the bricks with the clips on them. So I've got 2 of those on either side, and they're actually both clip facing inwards, and the clips actually connect onto the side of clip onto the side of these little fence pieces, and it just kind of creates like a nice barrier. They sort of 2 bricks high. That's 2 bricks and two plates on this side, but I presume something's going to go on top of it. I'm just trying to get it all straightened up here. And it just creates a nice wee section there. So this is another quite flimsy section here. So these plates that are running across here, there's not a lot underneath supporting them, so it is quite flimsy. So if you press down too hard here, you could be in a whole world of bother. So I just need to be a little bit careful whenever I'm putting these pieces in place. And that just goes on the other side. Just being careful to support the underside when I'm pressing these down. And lose more of this. Right, okay, I think I understand how this is going to work now. I'm just going to build these all anyway, I'll put them in place and then so there's bar pieces here. I'm sure they're the 8 long bar pieces perhaps. That are going to connect all these little clips together here then and sort of create the handrails up the side of the stairs. So I'll probably have to tweak the sort of angles and directions of these clips a little bit, but it'll be easier to do with the actual bars in situ. And just leave that plate work in, tidy it all off and just hold it all together. And one of the wee black ingot pieces, just to create a bit of additional detail. It's a nice little bridge actually. Yeah, and then we have our bars going in, so let's see how we get on here. So we've got the bottom bars going in like so. That's not too bad. And this top one's not going to work because I've got that completely wrong. Oh. There we are. No, it's not quite in right. There we go. So it's just adds those little handrails on the side there, keep the minifigures a bit safer. And then just got to do the same down this side, so I'm just going to do that. And in there. So these are the 9 long bars, or the hollow ones with the sort of hole through the centre of them. And obviously they just fit really nicely into the proportions of this build. And then just a few little pieces left over again, just little spare pieces, and that ends that bag. And sort of finishes a chunk of the sort of walkway across the top of the railway tracks. We'll just need to do the same on the other side as well. And then we're laughing. Car spotter's back. How you doing, man? Good to see you, mate. Okay, bag number 12 then. So carries on the theme of black pieces. I suspect this will finish off the bridge. And maybe a little bit of detailing as well. Okay. So first off, So we're putting wall bracket or some of the 1x4 bracket pieces here. I presume then we're going to add some detailing to the actual sides of the bridge as well, or perhaps not actually, because the whole way around the actual facade of the building there is a line of sort of black studs, but these are like the hollowed out studs. So it's almost like it kind of looks nice. It's like a nice design feature, like almost like a riveting style look about it, you know. So I presume this is actually intentional as well. You know? This is kind of a real fiddly figurey little section of the build. It's definitely not my favourite piece. A lot of small parts. Progress is quite slow. A lot of messing around with bars and clips and stuff, and it's definitely not my sort of favourite thing to do. Quite repetitive as well, because we're just sort of repeating the same things on all sides. But it'll look nice when it's finished. Again, it's just detail, I suppose, isn't it? You know, you have to take the time to sort of add the details in, otherwise, you know, it just looks like a sort of generic Lego build. So, you know, I have no sort of major issue with it. It is nice. It's just figurine and fiddly. Build variation on this side of the bridge. Where's that? So there's a 1x2 brick here somewhere with a clip on it, and can't see it. I know it'll be there. It's probably staring me right in the face, and I just know there it is. Hiding. 1x4. I'm sure it'll all look a whole lot better once we kind of get finished and get all the design elements on. It'll just kind of complete the build. My goodness, what is going on here? This is some funky building here. So it's just lots of these wee modified 1x1 plates with a clip, but they're all directions. And then lots of 1x1 plate in the middle of them. And like I said, it'll all make sense, I have no doubt, once it's finished. But right here, right now, it's quite difficult to actually follow what you're doing. And 2 more. And that presumably goes on to there. So I suppose the whole point of what we're doing here is sort of work 2 studs high, but with various random clips at different heights sort of throughout. Obviously it's something that you wouldn't be able to do any other way than, you know, using plates rather than bricks, because there's no bricks kind of designed in these sort of shapes and sizes. So The only problem I have with using all these for smaller pieces is it's always really hard to get them, perfectly lined up. Alright. I think that's us. Okay, now then just goes into here. That wasn't the smoothest of things to do, but we're all in place, and yeah, we've got bars and clips coming out all over the place here, so there's obviously something interesting going to go inside of this here. Car spotter, I have the Red Bull F1 car already, got a custom engine. Well, you love modifying your cars, don't you? They're all completely lost. I mean, I'm not a car guy, but each to their own. Much prefer trains, but even then, I much prefer trains that other people have built. My day's been really good, man. It's coming to an end. It's getting quite late here, so I'll be finishing up very soon. But no, I've had a good day, busy day at work, and enjoying a nice build here. So, what about you? Yeah, I'll finish once I've actually finished this here bag. Then I'm gonna wrap up the stream tonight. This is all just intended to be a short one, just so I can get a wee bit more building done, basically. I'm building this set exclusively on lives, and I'm sort of always just itching to get at it, so take every opportunity I can get. I will be back on again tomorrow night in my sort of normal Friday night slot. So if anyone does want to tune back in and see a bit more, then that's when you'll find me. That's the wrong way around. Oh, it isn't. I've done it wrong everywhere else. That's the problem. Silly. Okay. Then we've got all our bars going on again then for little handrails. Really nice, easy way to do it, which is great. I'll show them the other way. There we go. Perfecto. And just these ones on this side. I'm trying to get them all perfectly lined up too. I kind of want every single one of them to be as close as possible alignment wise. Again, like I say, there's a lot of sort of small parts on top of one another, so it's hard to get everything perfectly aligned. Okay, so we've got lots of, I don't know what you call these pieces, they're like ponytails almost. Let's go on the bottom bars. That actually fit. And that's just adding a wee bit of a design feature on this side of the bridge then. Interesting choice of element. So they're kind of, you might see them, they're kind of like a high pony almost. You maybe see them sometimes on the top of helmets and things like that. A black shield in the middle. We'll get some really cool part uses there. So it's probably isn't the most exhilarating view at the minute, but it's a lot of black here and it's quite hard to sort of make it out, and I'm concentrating quite hard on what I'm doing because I don't want to mess this up, because I'm sort of wrapping up for this evening pretty soon and I just would like to get kind of finished at this point. So I am just having to concentrate a wee bit harder than usual just to make sure that I build this exactly as it should be. So we're just building a big black sort of pillar here at the minute, or column that kind of is run up the side of the little sort of bridge that crosses over from one section to the other. I don't know what this is for exactly as of yet, but I'm sure it will all become apparent whenever it's done. It could be to hold the sort of structure up above, to be honest. Although I don't see any sort of anything on the other side to allow for building any pillars. I don't quite know how it's set up. It's very interesting. I'm sort of confused as to how the actual roof and the upper layer stay in place, because there's no supports over this side here. Obviously we're building up this black pillar here. I know it's quite hard to see because of the light, and because I'm wearing black as well, which probably doesn't help. Twist it around a bit, you'll maybe be able to see a little bit better. It's obviously going to be another one to come up here. So like I said, we'll have this nice support on this side, but I'm still not sure exactly how the other side is going to work. I'll just step out of the way a wee bit, just take my top out of the way so you can actually maybe see it a little bit better. We're just building the same up on this side, then like I said, it's just some sort of support structure here. Just sort of increases the scale and size of this build. You know, it's not just, doesn't just have a big sort of base footprint. It also has a bit of verticality here as well. There is sort of substantial height. There's like a section that goes on top of this, then a dome that goes on top of that again. So my gut feeling is it's going to sit kind of up around here by the time it's finished. It's super impressive. Be a real imposing structure within my cellular layout. And then we've got these two. Black bars and they go the whole way across. Just pop that back in there, just for scale. I'll turn it around a wee bit to make it a bit easier for you to see what's actually going on at that side there. I know just what with the colour of my top and stuff is quite hard to see. Just realised I've got one of these pantographs on the way. We're good. Not worry about that. There you go. So hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better there what we're building. So we're just pulling this structure up a little bit now. I think this is starting to create that support layer then for the sections that are above. Now it isn't the most secure, it's kind of just like two studs wide the whole way up. So this isn't the most secure. It's something. Oh, crap. Yeah, if you press it down too hard on that, the whole structure could very easily give underneath. There's a bit of strength to it, but I wouldn't like to be pressing too hard down on it. Yeah, it's tying off. So this will all sort of be adding a wee bit of strength as we go along here, but even still. And I don't know if this repeats repeats on the other side or not, but I'm going to take that chance and hope it for the best. It does. Okay, so with more. Oh, I understand. I understand what's going on here now. So there's a central staircase then that comes up from here to here, which provides access to this upper layer. Okay, that's good. So that'll be the last thing that we're building tonight. How you doing, Kay? I'm doing really good, thank you. How are you, man? Hope you're well. I'm just finishing up again here. If I come in right at the end again, the end of this particular stream. Unfortunately, it's getting a wee bit late here, and I'll have to wrap it up. So I'm not gonna open up another bag. I've just started bag 12, is it? Bag 12. So I'm sort of at the halfway point in terms of sort of quantity of bags, or bag numbers rather. Don't know if it's necessarily the exact halfway point of the build. From an instruction point of view, we're on page 406 of 796. So we're there and there about halfway, I'd say. Emperor Palpatine. Adidas is not allowed in my new empire. Emperor Palpatine, I'm very sorry. I'm not taking my jacket off right now because this room's quite cold. There's no heating on in here. If I hold my hand like that there, and you can just imagine those are 3 random stripes, not attributed to any one brand. As a matter of interest, what sports brand is allowed in your new empire? You know, just so I can make sure that I'm more appropriately attired next time. So this goes. Alright, come on. Brilliant, there we go. So our wee staircase then just goes on in the middle here, and it connects a. Cool lad. Just don't want to get on the wrong side of you. Just putting it out there now. My Jedi skills aren't up to much. Okay, which is 2 wee lights then left to finish this section off. And they're lovely builds actually. They've got these nice sort of gold lacquered sort of round plates, or I'm not really sure what you call those pieces. And then like a translucent yellow minifigure head piece element, and a wee sort of gold stud, and then they're just held on bars. Just clip on to the front there. So there you go. And that brings me to the end of tonight's stream. So what I'll do, as I usually do, I'll go and grab the camera. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's really good. It's massive. I can't sort of express how big it is. It I don't know if it sort of translates terribly well in the video or not, but it's a really substantial build. And we've still got this whole section here to do. We've got the big curved roofs, and then there's a massive dome that sits on top of it as well. So I suspect by the time we're finished, you're not going to be able to see me beyond the build because it's going to be so big. But I reckon by the time it's finished, it's going to sit up around here. But I think it'll make a really neat sort of central station for my layout. Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. A really nice place for my minifigures to hang out when they're waiting for trains. So I'm just going to go and grab the camera then off the stand here, and I'll bring it down, give anyone that's on just a slightly more close-up look at the build, and then I'm going to wrap the stream up for this evening, so bear with me 1 second. Alrighty then, so here we are. Just take you sort of down in minifigure level here. So you can see down along the railway tracks. So you can see this nice archway over the top that we've built tonight, and then the sort of start of the frame that holds up the section up above. Here's just a wee look then in at, I'll take that out of the way, just a wee look in at this platform. So there's not a lot of detail on this particular platform. It's a couple of minifigures, a few lights, a little bench, and a bin. And then on this side, so we just have, again, a few details. We ticket machine there, another bench and another bin, and then this little area up above with a bit of seating and all the nice sort of lamp details and chairs and whatnot. And then obviously you've got the stair access from the ground level up to here, and then we've got the little bridge out of the top. So there's just that side profile. It's probably a little bit less interesting from that side. This is obviously the rear of the station, and it's just, for the most part, windows. And I'll spin it around and give you a wee look at that section. So I think that looks class. That's a really epic looking build from the front. A really nice building. It's gonna sit beautifully in the city and sort of really make a statement, I think. So that's me for tonight anyway. Thank you very much, everyone that's tuned in. Remember to give us a wee like, a wee thumbs up. And if you want to sort of keep track of this build, I do make all my lives public anyway, so you can watch them back at any point if you want. But I will be going live again tomorrow night. I suspect I won't get it finished tomorrow night, but we'll make some good headway anyway. Still got, so like, that's kind of the pile of bags we have left there. So you can see there's still quite a bit to get through. A few of my more recent builds as well there, including that enormous T-Rex. And again, there's just another review of the box. So that's kind of what the station's going to look like when it's finished, and that just gives you a good sort of aspect of the scale and size, I think. But yeah, drop us a wee sub anyway if you want to keep up with this build, because obviously I'll be going live again and you get that notification, and you can sort of tune in and watch the rest of it with me. But thanks anyway, guys. Have a really good night, and I'll catch you all at another point. See ya.